Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Member again, Jemmy.
Good morning. We were on the same wavelength this morning.
I somehow have lost a day this week, and I don't know how I did it.
That's okay. I saved the one from a couple times ago and just I meant to text you that I already had it. Just needed to fill in that one obviously piece of information whether or not we had registered folks, but it's all good.
Nobody is registered. I come in here and I was like, oh, it's Wednesday, and then I looked at the calendar and I was like, oh no, it's Thursday.
No, I did the same thing. I did the same thing. Hey, listen, you're that. Yeah.
morning. Good morning, Member Cox.
Good morning.
Member Gaines, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good morning, Member
The
Cox.
chairman's going to only have about a half-hour meeting. I didn't get into your tennis match this morning.
Correct.
Good morning, Member Ganjemi and Member Cox.
Morning.
Good morning. A little bit chilly. I don't think Member Cox paid the heating bill today.
I forgot.
Well, good morning. I am
Morning,
Mario
morning.
Ganjemi, the chair of the MDTA Capital Committee, and conducting this morning's meeting, which I call to order at 9 a.m. In accordance with the live streaming law, this meeting is being conducted via video conference and live streamed on the MDTA Capital Committee page. As a reminder, all members of the Capital Committee will have their video active during the entirety of the meeting. However, I do ask that we minimize background noise, that we keep phones and computers muted. Unless, of course, you're presenting or answering a question, we ask that you turn your video and audio on when speaking. And when done, with the exception of the capital committee members, turn your video off and your audio back on mute. Today, there are no members of the public, no elected officials or media that have pre-registered to comment on today's meeting. So we can move on to agenda item number one, which is approval of the Capital Committee open session meeting minutes of October 5th, 2023. We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved.
So moved by member Cox. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by member Gaines. All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All
Aye.
right. That was all of us. Now we'll move on to Nafez, who will present HB 3001, the cleaning and painting of the Hatem Bridge. Maybe. Nafez, are you there? Could be that I'm saying the name way wrong.
No,
So there you are.
remember again, Jenny, this is Percy. It doesn't look like he's on.
Oh, got it.
I don't know, shoot Smitho or Jim.
Yeah, I'll let me try to reach him real quickly. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. Stuff happens, and hey, as I was talking earlier, I thought yesterday was Tuesday, so I'm happy to jump
You
a
get
day
the
ahead, I
days
guess.
mixed up
Not
all the
that
time,
not
Mickey
that I
Mouse.
want to rush life, but I do want to make sure I'm on the right day.
You don't forget the day you're going to run on the run at the Bay Bridge. You're not going to forget that day, are you?
No, sir. I just hope it's a little bit warmer than today.
Chair again, Jimmy. This is Percy again.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you may want to entertain maybe moving to the next item, and we can come back
Yep.
to the Fez.
I think that's a good idea. As long as probably should do it officially by having a motion to alter the agenda.
So moved.
So moved. So we're going to move the consolidated transportation program to our next item and then come back to the Hatem Bridge. So Jen, you're on.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
For the record, my name is Jennifer Stump, the Assistant Capital Program Manager. Today, I'm presenting the proposed fiscal year 2024 to 2029 final CTP and seeking your approval for recommendation to the full board later this month, which has been updated to November 29th, 2023. It will also be presented to the Finance Committee on November 9th, 2023. The proposed 6-year fiscal year 24 to 29 final CTP is $3.1 billion. This reflects a net increase of $393.1 million as seen on attachment 1, line 6. The net increase is a result of the following: an increase in the 6-year CTP budget by $780,000 for the Nice Middleton Bridge, which can be seen on line 1 of attachment 1. An increase in the 6-year CTP budget by $4.9 million for the I-95 ETL Northern Extension, which can be seen on line 2 of attachment 1. An increase in the 6-year CTP budget by $177.9 million for all projects except the Nice Middleton Bridge, the I-95 ETL Northern Extension, and the reserves, which can be seen on line 3 of attachment 1. And an increase in the allocated and unallocated reserves by $209.5 million as seen on line 4 of attachment 1. The fiscal year 2023 expenditures were $451.7 million versus the $484.8 million budgeted in the fiscal year 24 to 29 draft CTP, as reflected on line 6 of attachment 1. The fiscal year 23 underspending was $33.1 million and has been rolled over into the final CTP. Highlights of the project and reserve changes are shown in attachment 2. For added new projects, 7 system preservation projects and 1 environmental project for an increase of 9.3 million in the fiscal year 24-29 period. For projects, modified budgets to reflect bids received. We adjusted 1 project to reflect bids received that were higher than the engineer's estimate for a net increase of 4.2 million. For projects with added construction phases, the construction phase of 5 projects were funded for a total of 68.4 million, transferred from the reserves as design reached 60% level and cost estimates were developed on fully developed scopes. For projects that had modified budgets to reflect completed projects, 13 projects were completed and 2 were deleted for a total decrease of 100,000 in the fiscal year 24-29 period. Projects modified due to cost changes and cash flow adjustments. Adjusted cash flows and funding changes in engineering, right-of-way, and/or construction budgets for 85 projects for a net budget increase of 101.8 million in the fiscal year 24-29 period. And reserve changes, the allocated reserves increased by 209.4 million and the unallocated reserves increased by 87,000. On attachment 3, it's a pie chart that details where the projects are by facility. We have 32% at Kennedy Highway, 24% in multi-area, 12% at the William Preston Lane Memorial Bridge, 12% at the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel, 7% at the Key Bridge, 6% at the Fort McHenry Tunnel, and 2% each at the ICC, Hayden Bridge, and Nice Bridge. Attachment number 4 is another pie chart that details the projects by category. We have 34% in structures preservation, 25% in safety and capacity improvements, 16% in highway preservation, 6% in enhancements, 4% in campus facility improvements, 4% in campus facility preservation, 4% in bridge replacements, 3% in tunnel preservation, 2% in environmental, and 1% in our unallocated reserves. We are seeking your recommendation for approval to present to the board later this month, and that is their presentation for the final CTP.
Mr. Chairman, question.
Yes, sir. Go for it.
I guess on the Nice Middleton Bridge, the amount that is requested in the final CTP, you think that is probably the end of the expenditure there at this point as far as capital?
And you're asking, I'm sorry, you originally said the chairman. So at this point, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer. I'm sorry, Jennifer. Sorry.
It's okay. They are wrapping up that project. There are some additional items that need to be completed, such as demolishing the old bridge and some other things. But this is the remaining budget that they expect to complete that in the next couple of years.
Good. Thank you.
And any other questions from the committee or a motion for contingency approval?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to be flip, but I always wonder where do we get the reserves, allocated, unallocated reserves? They're just coming out of our checking account. Seems like that's sort of balancing error for anything else. We just sort of, I know we can't write checks for money we don't have. We're not the U.S. Treasury, but can you explain that to me? Or do we have to earn more money this year to cover we're going up 300 million, right? The next 5 years, our expenses are.
In regards to the allocated reserves, that is funding that finance validates will be available based on estimated traffic revenue over the next 6 years. They're put into the allocated reserves because those projects are not yet completely created within CMAPs. You know, they need to go through initial design and things like that. As far as the unallocated, that is usually the same amount every year that is budgeted for. It did have a small increase this time for inflation. I see Chantel jumped on. Did you want me to defer to you for continuing to answer that?
Morning, Jennifer. You're doing a great job. Chantel Green, Director of Finance here at the Authority. Just wanted to advise the committee that finance is aware of the current CTP. That we will be presenting an item to the Finance Committee next week that entails the financial forecast, which includes the CTP that is before you today, as well as other things such as the operating budget and the new traffic and revenue forecast. And that based on all of the information that we have, this CTP is affordable.
That'd be a more complete picture when you're looking at all the revenue items. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chantel. Thanks, Jen. Any other questions? Mr. Sneed, you look like you had something, but maybe it coincided with Mr. Gaines.
It does, Mr. Chair. Is there a loan associated with that bridge project?
There is. One of you guys should, one of the folks that maybe not on the screen should explain it, but we did get a TIFIA loan. I know that, and probably amongst other things. So yes, there definitely is a loan that we're using from the federal government, probably some other stuff as well.
So are we paying down at a lower interest rate on the TIFIA loan as part of the budget?
Yeah,
Okay.
Chantel's probably got the answer for us, but that's something along those lines.
Yes. So good morning again. So we did receive a $200 million TIFIA loan for the Nice Middleton Bridge. We have drawn those funds. We were able to actually use those funds to reimburse ourselves for previous costs that we expended for the bridge. So at this point, the TIFIA loan funding is fully exhausted as we did reimburse ourselves. Generally, we issue our own toll revenue bond debt to pay for our capital budget expenditures.
That was a good question, because you would coming in when you've come in, you don't have that big picture that we have. So it's a great question. Any further questions or motion for contingent approval?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Member Cox made it. Is that
I'll
a second
second it.
member? Second
I'll
member
second.
Gaines makes a second. All right, beautiful. All in favor, or any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, that was all of us. Thank you. All right, so we're going back to the Haydon Bridge painting. And I know Mr. Harkness was on for a brief second thinking we were going to put him on, but oh, there's Nafeez.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, members. I'm sorry about that. I had a hard time logging on. I guess it's too cold. My computer was frozen.
We understand.
Yeah,
don't apologize.
unexpected cold. That's what happened. But again, sorry about that. I tried. I had a hard time. I'm finally on. Again,
That's
good
okay.
morning.
We rearranged at Percy's recommendation. We're still on target.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Again, good morning, members. Good morning, everybody. Again, this is contract number HB 3001, cleaning and painting and miscellaneous structural repairs of the US 40 bridge over the Susquehanna River. The contract title, again, is the same, cleaning and painting and miscellaneous structural repairs of the US 40 bridge over the Susquehanna River. The scope of work includes the removal of the entire existing coding system and replacing it with a new 3-code system. The work also includes replacement of, some structural repairs that were identified through the inspection program. The project was advertised on August 3rd, and anticipated notice to proceed is February of next year. The duration is 850 calendar days, which will makes the completion date roughly May 1st of 2026. The engineer, we opened bids on September 24th, and we received about 8 bids, ranged in price from $56 million to $93 million, a huge range, but most of the bids were clustered around the engineer's estimate at $60 million. The MBE goal for the project was 16%, and the VSBE goal was 1%. The low bidder, Blastic Enterprises, submitted their MBE plan, which matched the advertised plan at 16% MBE goal and 1% VSBE. Again, this project, the we didn't receive any bid protests at all, and this project is 100% funded by toll revenues. That's all I got. Any questions on that? Plastic, by the way, they've done a lot of contracts for us on our complex bridges, like the Tidings and the Bay Bridge. They actually did the suspension span of the Bay Bridge, and they also did some paint on the Tidings Bridge. So I'm managing the coding programs for MDTA. I'm comfortable with their bid. I'm comfortable with plastic. They really know what they're doing. They also painted the Delaware Memorial Bridge a couple of years ago. So they know their way around the complex bridge like that. We do recommend moving forward with the award to plastic.
It's a
Fantastic.
hell of
Any
a
questions?
contract, $56 million. Have we had one that big?
Yeah,
that often?
yeah. Yes. When we do the complex bridges like the Bay Bridge and
Bay Bridge, I would think would be a lot more higher.
Yeah, the Bay Bridge, the Bay Bridge was a total of actually, we did 3 phases, a total of like $90 million. We're like 15, and like 50 some million dollars, something like that.
Oh,
And this is a 850-day contract.
Yes, yeah, they need every one of those days too.
do they?
But-
How long will
because
this paint job last?
That's 25 to 30 years. That's the average lifetime of a paint job.
Member Gaines, you were asked the question that I was going to bring up. Can we have at a future meeting, and please no rush, but we'd like to know maybe the process of
Absolutely.
stripping the bridge and the the repainting of it, and what those materials are and the lifetime. I think that would be a great instructional session for
We'll
us.
be more than happy to do that.
Yeah, no rush. Don't think you got to do it at the next meeting.
Actually, it's funny, at MDQI coming up in February, we do have a session on that. MDTA will be doing a session on that at the Maryland Quality Initiative coming up in February. I, along with my consultant, will be doing the presentation on that, but we'll be more than happy to do it for the Capital Committee, if you guys wish to do that.
maybe you time that for the January meeting, so you've got practice for your February presentation.
Good idea. Great idea, yes.
All right, we want you to shine. We want you to make
No,
MDTA look
thank
good
you,
at
I
that
appreciate
event.
that.
Great. Any other questions? Or a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Member Gaines, or second? Second by Member Sneed. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. That was all of us. Thank you very much. We look forward to that presentation. Sounds like January is not crazy, so we'll look for that in January then.
Yes, will do.
Awesome.
So
Any
again, you just want the process on how to clean, remove the existing system and put on a new system and all that, and okay.
yeah,
Yes,
and
we'll
what
do that.
what the materials are, a
Yes.
little bit explanation of materials and their
Will do.
lifetime. I think that's important.
Yes, sir, will do.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything for the good of the order?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
All right, there's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Member Sneed. It was a reluctant second. Come on, Mr.
He wanted
Cox
to
has
stay
got
on
to
for
get to a
another couple
meeting.
hours.
Usually
Mr.
Joe
Cox
beats
has
me
his
to the
running shoes
punch,
on to get
so.
to his next meeting.
Member
Trying to
Cox
let you
is quick.
shine, Sam. Member Sneed.
You're always here first.
All in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, that was all of us. Thank you, everybody. Please be safe. I know that several of us will see each other over the next